Elaine, Nina, Arlene, Elaine, another Markowitz in addition to, hello, Arlene, Lee, Weiss Horowitz's, Jordana, Roberta. So good to see you all. Hi, Susan. Is that you, Hecht? You're muted, so I can't hear you, but I saw you say Shabbat Shalom, and I appreciate it. Hello, David Sutton. It's good to see you. Linda, Diamond, there are you. Hello, Sharon and Phil.
Good evening, Cantor.
Hello, Faith. Is that Jane? No. Yes. Hello, Jane. Yay.
Shalom. Jane, where are you?
What, Nina?
Where is Jane? Are you back at North Shore Towers?
Here, I'm going to pin Jane. Do you see her, Nina, or no?
Yeah, I see her.
Hello,
She's
Jane.
blowing her nose. Okay.
You're 60 feet away from each other. Hello, Sharon Freeman. Dorothy and Ed. All right. Cantor Adam.
Hello, Meir. Shabbat Shalom all. Can't hear him.
Page 358, if you'd like to open to it, the top.
Beveit Adonai, kol yemei chayai, lachazot benoam Adonai, ulevakeh bechalo, lachazot benoam Adonai ulevakeh bechalo. Achat sha'alti meit Adonai ota avakesh. Achat sha'alti meit Adonai ota avakesh.
Shabbat Shalom all. So good to be with you, to see you. It's kind of a funny thing to be with you. It's a new notion of with. You can hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Thank you for your thumbs up. You're shaking your head. Achat Sha'alti. Cantor Adam just sang this verse from Psalm 27 that we always sing the month before Rosh Hashanah and the high holidays. One thing, one question. What's our one question for the month? What's our one aspiration for the month? What's our one reach for the month? As we welcome Shabbat, and Nina will light the Shabbat candles for us, although all of us can be lighting candles in our own homes. But I think those Shabbat candles are offering the same question, invitation to us that this verse from Psalm 27 is offering. What light do we need most? What illumination can really move us? What inspiration would help us feel connection? Dear Nina, the candle, light our Shabbat candles if you would, and everyone else. If you're doing it at home also, you light the candles first and then offer the blessing. First light and then bless.
Well, I'd like to just read, as these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel that have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
You know, one of the things I love when we light Shabbat candles is that it always takes a little bit of effort, and there's something about it that each time it's a different challenge from the last time. The match doesn't light, the candle doesn't illuminate it. We can't find the right. You know, it's so beautifully reminds us of life. It just ain't easy. It's hard to be light bringers and light generators, and it was for God too, and it is for God. So we're going to turn to page 12 and offer Lechuna Ranana, page 12 in our Siddur. 4 lines, the top 4 lines.
Lechuna Ranana l'Adonai, Letzor Yishenu Nekad Mafanav Betoda Bizmirot Nari Alo We're at the top of page 13. Ay, la, 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 ay, la, 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 ay, la, 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 ay, la, la,
Your clapping helps us.
Shirul Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Shem עמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומעולם מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים, איי איי איי, כי כל אלוהי עמים אלילים, באדוני שמיים עשה, הוד והדר את פניו, עוז לתפארת במקדשו, ילאי ללאי לאי ילאי 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 ילאי
Bottom of 13. Bottom of 13.
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ומלוא, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ומלוא, יעלון שרי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל הצייר, לפני אדוני קיווה, קיווה לשבור הארץ, ישבות תבל בצדק, ויאמין באמונתו.
Page 14, the last paragraph, or Zarua.
Dum diddy dum 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 dum diddy dum. Keep doing that at home. Ya la la. Ya la la, ya la 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 la. Or zarua la tzadik, hu yishrei lesimcha. Or zarua la tzadik, hu yishrei simcha, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la,
Page 15, Psalm 29, or Psalm 98. I know.
Let's turn to page.
Sorry, page 18.
18.
Page 18.
Hey, there we go.
Psalm 29, page 18.
that going, Shai. Hi, li, 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 li,
And we've arrived at L'Chadodi on page 20, our weekly opportunity, our weekly return to recommitting ourselves to all that we pray for ourselves in the highest order. The Chadodi, that moment of the chuppah, that moment in which we're confident and optimistic that we can bring in goodness and connection and devotion to loved ones and to the world. That's L'Chadodi, page 20.
L'Chadodi, 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 Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. L'Chadodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha hishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad hu shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'tila l'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela l'chadodi Krakala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat v'chuvnel chaki mekor ha-beracha merosh mikedem mesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshavat tchila l'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela Ay hitoreri ki va'orech kumi ori Shitaperi kevod Adonai Alayich nigla L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela L'chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Now it's time we rise. Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom, aderet bala gam besimcha, uvetzolato emunei am segula. Boi kala lechadoti krakala, benei Shabbat ekabela. Lechadoti krakala, benei Shabbat ekabela.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done, Cancer Adam and Shai. We'll turn to page 22 for Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, the song of Shabbat. This last L'chadodi, it makes me think about, why Shabbat, why prayer? Sometimes we've had kind of a boring week, an uneventful week, a kind of quiet week, and we come to Shabbat to wake us up and give us some energy, give us something new. Sometimes we come to Shabbat after a week of incredibly challenging, painful experiences. I think this week is one of them. And Shabbat helps us touch a place of hope, a place of possibility, a moment of joy, a note that moves us out of the pain or the sadness. So many different reasons, so many different ways that Shabbat can help us feel alive, feel connected, feel true. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, the song for the very day of Shabbat, page 22.
Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot LaAdonai, Uzamer leShimcha Elyon, Uzamer leShimcha Elyon. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot LaAdonai, Uzamer leShimcha Elyon, Uzamer leShimcha Elyon. Lehagid baboker chasdecha, vemunarcha balelot, halei asor v'halei navel, halei higayon bechinot. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot LaAdonai, Uzamer leShimcha Elyon, Uzamer leShimcha Elyon. Tzadik Amar Kifrach Ke'egez Bavanon Yizkeh
Beautiful. Psalm 20, page 24 is Shalom Aleichem. It's about the angels in our lives. I actually had a thought a moment ago. Did you encounter an angel this week? Maybe you actually were. Many of you, probably every one of you were an angel this week. Did you hear an angel in the news, or someone who inspired you? Share their names. Write it in the text, the chat. Let's celebrate the angels in our lives. Maybe if you don't want to say the name, say, describe something about the person, a couple words. I like the idea. Doesn't mean you do it. You have to, though. I'm going to share one. I'm going to share an idea myself. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, angels learn to be angels from angels who precede them and teach them. Love that.
Let's greet those angels. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 26. Yikada ve'yikada shemei Rabbah, ve'almad yivrach yirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechonu v'yomechon, u'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, u'bizman kaharim, ve'imeru Amen. Yahei Shemei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam u'lamei alamaya. The high holidays are in a couple weeks. Yitparach ve'yishtabach, v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalav, shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, toshbechata v'nechemata, Amiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen.
We've arrived at our Baruch Hu. If you'd like to rise, feel free to do so on page 28. Page 28, the Baruch Hu.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Are you listening to my prayer? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
Page 31. Page 31 on the bottom. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or shall we cross over?
Baruch atah Adonai Amariv Aravi. I love that reading.
Page 32, Ahavat Olam.
This is an hour of change, and tonight we're going to change up our Ahavat Olam. This is based on a poem by Rabbi Rami Shapiro. And just as we're entering this season of love, oh, look what I did there, Rent, season of love. We are entering this season of Elul. We're in it, in the middle of it, of Ani L'Dodi V'Dodi Li. So it's all the more prescient that we celebrate that love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Page 36, Via Havta. If you're standing, feel free to be seated. 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
Let's turn to page 39 and offer this reading that we've read many times before. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except for joining hands, marching together. Micha Mocha on page 40.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל, לחנו שירה בשמחה הרבה, ויאמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר קודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי אנו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגואלו לו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Page 43.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu ve'amideinu le'shalom. In this time when there's strife and citizens are sometimes at each other's throats, or worse, let us strive to find the best inside us. And may we all find peace and friendship with one another so that we can be the shelter, especially at this time when so many of our fellow Americans are without power and suffering in the aftermath of Hurricane Laura. Let's be their shelter in the storm.
Amen. Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai, hapore sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'al Yerushalayim.
And return to 44, the Shamro.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי
seventh day.
Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et har-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
That's like a whole experience of musical theater just in one beautiful prayer. Love that. Okay, if you'd like to rise, we begin our Amidah on page 46. Page 46, our tefillah, our standing prayer.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ביהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We take a few moments of personal private prayer, and we come back together with Oseh Shalom.
If you've finished your private meditations, join us for the evening prayer for peace, which is found on page 60. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav. Ki ata umelech adon, melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata umelech adon, melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav. Baruch atah Adonai hamavarech et amo Yisrael. Shalom.
Beautiful. Shalom Rav, meaning what? A shalom of great proportions, Rav. We turn from that prayer for peace to a prayer for healing on page 253. Please write in the chat the names of any loved ones who you're thinking about, friends, family, ourselves, for this prayer for healing of body and spirit.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Well, move something. This has been just another incredibly stressful and painful week. As Cantor Adams said, it's Hurricane Laura, which took a lethal and devastating toll in Louisiana and Texas. We've completed 2 political conventions, one or the other of which was painful for all of us. We surpassed 180,000 coronavirus deaths. And of course, there was Jacob Blake, paralyzed from being shot in the back 7 times. Coach Doc Rivers from the LA Clippers said this: "My dad was a cop. I believe in good cops. We're not trying to defund the police and take all their money away. We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else." The shooting of Jacob Blake has intensified the pain and passions of so many. It has led to protests against injustice in many, many places. Painfully, these peaceful and holy protests have been poisoned by terrible acts of violence and vandalism. As a former federal prosecutor, I categorically reject the violence and injustice that our police work so hard to prevent and to punish. And I categorically reject the violence and injustice that, on occasion, police commit against civilians, particularly black and brown civilians. A congregant I admire deeply, someone who cares about me very much, he urges me from time to time to, "Rabbi, speak truth to power. Use your bully pulpit." He doesn't tell me which truths to preach or which side to bully. But I've been thinking about his urgings, truth to power and bully pulpit. My dad actually often used that term, bully pulpit. Personally, I believe strongly in protest. My mom grew up in segregated Atlanta. She was a serious feminist in her young and middle-aged adult life. She often spoke about the importance of protest. I believe that NBA players and all professional athletes have the absolute right to protest, to speak out about matters that concern the public square. Likewise, I believe that ultimate fighting champs like Dana White have the absolute right to speak publicly in support of and on behalf of the president or any political issue. In fact, I wish that culture makers, celebrities in sports, theater, etc., would feel more responsible to sacrifice for the greater good, to sacrifice for the well-being of our nation. In my view, their success and wealth should deepen their responsibility to stand up for the values that they believe in most. Protest, in my opinion, is a holy endeavor. The Midrash teaches us that right after the flood, Noah lodged a serious protest. After God destroyed the world with the flood, God called Noah to come out of the ark. But for some time, Noah refused. Killing the innocent along with the wicked, Noah felt that God had overreached, overstepped. Noah's unwillingness to come out was a serious act of protest. And of course, Abraham as well was a man of protest. He dared God to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, to kill the innocent with the wicked. And Moses too. Moses' courage with Pharaoh, along with Abraham and Noah, those were among our earliest examples of protest against violence and injustice. So on this little quip, or this truth, this challenge, responsibility, who am I speaking to? Who should I be speaking to right now, right here? To the president, to the governor, to the mayor, the county supervisor? If this is a bully pulpit, to whom am I speaking? To whom am I speaking truth? Am I speaking truth to elected people who sit in seats of power? Are you there? Are you they? Is this Shabbat moment the right time and place for that? Or should I speak truths to all of us in areas of our lives over which we really do have power? Maybe truth to power means speaking truth to the areas in our lives over which we have power. I really would love to hear your thoughts about this question. Share them via chat, text, any medium. Next week, I plan to share the Jewish view on protest from Rabbi Tamar Elad Applebaum in Jerusalem, the rabbi of this beautiful community called Sion. Tonight, I want to share a different view from Rabbi Dani Sigal. This Shabbat, we read Parshat Ki Teitzei. And from our Parsha in Deuteronomy chapter 22, we read, if you see a fellow's ox or sheep gone astray, lo tita lamta, do not ignore it. A sheep or ox has gone astray and you see it, you find it, you can't ignore it. You must take it back to him, hashev teshivem. And you shall do the same thing with his donkey, with his garment, any garment of his that you find, and with anything, l'chol aveda, that your fellow loses and you find. Lo tuchal lehitalem. You may not remain indifferent. This verse, says Rav Dani, is a verse of protest. It's a protest against the important things that we lose. There's a whole body of Jewish law called Hashivot Aveda, lost and found. The 13th century thinker Rabbeinu Bachia says, the Torah requires that we be very cautious to observe the commandment to destroy lost property to its owners. Our sages in the Talmud explain that one has to return or try to return lost property that he or she has found, not one time, not two times, not three times, but Rabbeinu Bachia said something crazy, 100 times. It's so important to return something that someone else has lost, says Rabbeinu Bachia. We need to try over and over and over again. It's got to be so internalized inside of us. I continue with his words. All of this is part of the path of mercy and kindness which we are to practice vis-a-vis each other. Since we are all the children of one God, one parent, each one of us should be vitally interested in what is useful, necessary, important for his fellow. We express our empathy for the lost property of our brother by restoring it to him or her whenever possible. Those are Rabbeinu Bachia's words. They're so relevant to our time. All of us are losing so much. We are losing loved ones. We are losing casual meals and landmark celebrations. We are losing so much of what we always took for granted. The ability to travel, to work, to gather together. And for us clergy as well, for Tara and Adam and I, we've lost the blessing of sharing in prayer with you. We've lost your voices in song that lift us higher. We've lost your smiles, your facial expressions. Yes, some of them come through. We've lost the sound of your clapping. We even regret losing your closed and quote unquote resting eyes during our sermons. There's so much loss for all of us. Protest, says Rav Dani, is about finding what we have lost. Protest is reclaiming what we have long known is rightfully ours, a sense of security, equality, and freedom from violence, prejudice, and hatred. Protest is about returning to all of us so many lost and precious items. We cannot return a life to someone. And as with Jacob Blake, we cannot return a functioning spine, the ability to walk, to run. But we can return a sense of justice, a trust in one another, a commitment to a different future. This humble verse in our Parsha, you may not remain indifferent, lo tita lamta, tells us that protest is a religious imperative. With anything that your fellow loses, l'chol aveda, you may not remain indifferent. It's forbidden. Lo tuchal lehitalem. Have any of us lost our sense of purpose, our natural hopeful instinct, our confidence that tomorrow will be better? Lost and found is not something that just happens to us. It's not our wallet or our car keys. Says Rav Dani, lost and found in our tradition is a cosmic enterprise. We all remembered but have forgotten what we were supposed to do in this world. It's sort of lost. It feels like we've lost it. And the most profound way to retrieve what we've lost is to be in as much interaction with other people in this world as we possibly can. That means for the black man to be in great dialogue with the white, the Muslim with the Jew, and the Christian, the rich with the poor, etc., etc. You have no idea who has what you're looking for. We are all walking around being losers and finders for other people. Democrats have found objects that Republicans have lost. Republicans have precious items that Democrats have lost. There's one more thing, one more layer I want to add. I think it's amazing. When you see that your fellow has lost his shore, I'm reading one more clause of the verse that I shared with you a few moments ago, and now I actually want to share the screen for a moment. Greg, are you going to do that for one moment?
Mayor, did you share with me?
Oh, right. Good point. Good point. You're right. Here, I just want to. This is for. Whoops.
If you want, you can screen share if you want.
Yeah, I think I'll get it. I think. Here it is. So this is just a beautiful moment of Torah that I want to share with you. The verse says, if you find the ox of a neighbor, you've got to return it to him. When you see that your fellow has lost the word for ox is shur, you got to return it. But here, look at this. But what if, asks the brilliant Hasidic teacher, the Sfat Emet, the Hebrew word is not shor, like this, which means ox, but shur, which means eyesight or vision. What if this one vowel of one word isn't shur, ox, but shur, eyesight, vision? The Sfat Emet's doing something extraordinary here. The shur, ox, could also be read as our eyesight. So what it might mean then is you may not remain indifferent if your fellow, your brother, your neighbor loses her vision, her hope, his sense of purpose, his sense of optimism. The bully pulpit, speaking truth to power. Does that require a preacher to yell and slam the bima table? Ought it take many, many paragraphs or pages? The Sfat Emet offers a beautiful, simple answer. It's a one-word protest. No, it's not even one word, it's one vowel sound, from shore to shore. He lodges, the Sfat Emet, a profound protest. None of us may be indifferent to loss by our fellow of hope, of vision. And we know people have lost their direction, their happiness, their sense of peace. They've lost their moral or ethical compass, but we're told, lo titalem. We may not be indifferent. So what does the bully pulpit look or sound like? When we see that someone has lost something or has strayed from a path of purpose, of meaning, of direction, Sfat Emet offers us some advice. He wants us to understand how to go about returning lost objects. How do we do it? How do we help people recover being lost? And this is the last step. I quote, my advice for attaining what you've lost is for you yourself to do the work of teshuvah, which in English means, we translate as repent, but it means to return. Do for yourself the work of returning. As it's written in the holy books, whenever a person sees, whatever a person sees is lost in others, is always connected to himself. One must repent for that, and in so doing, he or she will engender thoughts of repentance in his fellow as well. The Baal Shem Tov says it like this: others are a mirror for ourselves. Whatever blemishes we see in others is a reflection of something inside ourselves. If you want a painfully contemporary example of this, think about the endless and exhaustive moralizing that students of Liberty University suffered from their leader, Jerry Falwell Jr. Others are a mirror into ourselves. The flaws we see in them are flaws for us to discover in ourselves. The best way to protest, suggests the Sfat Emet, is to do our own spiritual work. The protest that most inspires others begins with ourselves. Donnie Seagal offers a sweet example. Imagine, he says, you have teenage children or grandchildren, and their rooms are a total mess. You can't even open the door. Their room is such a mess. The Sfat Emet says you have two choices. Open the door and tell them to clean it up. That's choice one. Or open the door, close it, observe the mess, and then clean up something in our own lives. I'm learning how to live by this advice now with two teenage children. I think it's wise for me to lean into the cleaning of my own room. When Gavi was a boy, he and I had an interaction I've never forgotten. He'd failed for probably the 25th time to not do some random chore, and I yelled at him for maybe the 250th time. And he said to me in this incredible moment, very calm voice, "Abba, why do you yell? I think it would be better for me if you don't yell." I may be wrong, but I always thought the bully pulpit meant yelling. For over a decade, though, I've been working to relinquish that kind of a pulpit. I've been trying to do the teshuvah that Gavi and the Sfat Emet recommends. I want to close with one final message. This from Julia Jackson, the mother of Jacob Blake. She shared this message shortly after her son Jacob was shot by a policeman. She was calm, open-hearted, and of course full of pain, but also compassion and hope. And I think that Julia deeply understands and embraces the wisdom of the Sfat Emet. Because Jew, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whatever the religion, we all know this wisdom. I quote, "My son has been fighting for his life. As I was riding through the city, I noticed a lot of damage. The damage does not reflect my son or my family. If Jacob knew of this violence and destruction, he would be very displeased. I'm asking everyone in Wisconsin and abroad to take a moment and examine your hearts. Citizens, police officers, clergy, politicians, do Jacob justice on this level. Examine your hearts. We need healing. I've been praying for the healing of our country. God has placed each of us in this country. I," she says, "have a beautiful brown hand. Whatever shade of your hand is, it's beautiful. God didn't make one type of anything. How dare you or any of us ask God to make just one type of human who looks like you? And I'm not talking to just white people, but to all of us, white, black, brown, whatever our skin color. Please, let's pray for healing for our nation. To all of the police officers, I'm praying for you. To all citizens, white, black, and brown, I'm praying for you. Let's use our hearts, our love and intelligence to work together to show the rest of the world how humans are supposed to treat each other. We have to examine our hearts, and I've learned how to do that personally in my walk, in my relationship with God. And when you do that, you get a peace. There's a peace that I can't even describe. I think that Julia Jackson and Sfat Emet are teaching us similar messages. I surely don't have the ultimate truth about protest. I don't know what's best for the world, for America. I don't know what's best for you all. All I know is that at this moment in my life, the Sfat Emet speaks to me in a very compelling way. If your friend loses his ox or her vision or his direction or her hope or whatever else, lo titalem, you may not remain indifferent. You must return every lost object you can to your brothers and sisters. What others lose must be of profound importance to all of us. We are all sisters and brothers. We must return with generosity all that we find of others and accept with gratitude all that others have found that is ours. King Yehi Ratzon and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We rise and for Aleinu, and we turn to page 282.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 8287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
As always, before concluding, we remember loved ones. And if I share the name of a loved one who you're remembering, please feel free to rise. As well, if you're remembering someone, you may choose to feel free to add their name in the chat. We remember we laid to rest today Thea Zuckerman, and this past week Beverly Reckler. Remember those in the past 30 days, Shoshim, Rose Grunther, Gerald Eisenberg, Madeline Kern, Elena Ginsberg, and Millicent Zahn. And we remember those whose yortzeit falls this past week or on this Shabbat is the anniversary. All of their yortzeits include Enid Asher, David Harrison Dawn, Saul Green, Estelle Green, Aaron Greenberg, Esther Jacobs, Jeffrey Kaplan, Benjamin Nassau, Bernice Fink, Albert Schott, Arthur Shapiro, and Lori Singer. And we hold all of their names, their memories in our hearts.
Gerald Sutton.
And we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish, 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'galav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah v'orach le'olam v'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kodesha B'rechu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel. And let us all say one last time, Amen. A few announcements. First, as I turn to it, to thank dear Shai Kedmi and Cantor Adam. I
Yes.
love all these texts, chats, thanking the two of them for this wonderful, the wonderful music and energy. And
Thank you, Rabbi Meir, for a wonderful and inspiring drosh.
thank you, sir. Okay, after the service, virtual Oneg, hosted by Elaine Springer. Stay on this Zoom after we close the service. Love to have some others host the Oneg, the virtual Onegs. It's very simple, very generous, costs literally nothing except for the investment of your heart and time.
And as the host of the virtual Oneg, you get to eat all the brownies.
Exactly. Well done, Cantor Adam. Okay. Let's see. The tomorrow Torah study at 9:15, Leilad Shabbat service at 10:30. Havdalah tomorrow evening is at 8:15 p.m. 8:15. Think that is it? You, Cantor Adam, or is that us?
That would be me.
That would be you.
That would
Even
be
better.
me.
Even better for all of you. You get to be with Cantor Adam. And ongoing our Erev Shabbat family service from 6 to 6:30. It's a great way to just create the rhythm, the ritual of lighting Shabbat candles, having them lit in your home, maybe connecting with grandkids who are in other places on the other zip codes, time zones. A few other last few announcements. Sunday, August 30th. Wow, I don't even know this. At 10 p.m., a Great Next Shabbat on CNN. Well, oh, right. I don't know about this before this moment. Congregate Senator Anna Kaplan discussed the traditions of a Persian Shabbat dinner with comedian W. Kamal Bell. Oh, that's awesome. Anna, how fantastic. The celebration was filmed in Anna Kaplan's home, and it's going to be on CNN at 10 o'clock on Sunday. Fantastic. September 12th, I think it's at 8:30 p.m., Slichot. And let's see, don't forget the Teshuvah worksheet, right, Cantor Adam?
Well, yeah, there's a Teshuvah worksheet. That's
yeah.
true.
How do people find it?
Well, it's funny. You mentioned Senator Kaplan, and
Yes.
actually, I was going to mention that this is breaking news, but she is scheduled to appear as one of the featured participants in our Shofar Shorts.
Shofar Shorts. I love that. That's
Shofar
a
Shorts.
Cantor Adam, spin of the phrase. I love that. Well done.
Thank you. So as you may know, it's customary to sound the shofar every day in Elul leading up to the high holidays, except for Shabbat. And we've been posting daily shofar shorts on our TBE Facebook page. And they've been really entertaining. They've been really kind of fun.
They're great.
And more are coming in, and congregants are sending them in, sending videos of themselves blowing shofar. If you know how to blow shofar and you'd like to participate, just send me an email. But if you go to the TBE Facebook page, you'll see the ones that have been posted so far. And in the posts on Facebook, you'll also find a link for the Renewal in Elul Teshuvah worksheet on a way to refine yourself as we lead into the high holidays.
Fantastic. Okay.
Mayor, just one more thing. According to Mr. Howard Herman, it is 9 p.m., not 10 p.m. on CNN Sunday. He says.
Greg, I'm sorry, I didn't hear Greg. What did he say?
He said that the special with Senator Kaplan on CNN will air at 9 p.m.
He wrote in the chat. If everyone will.
Yeah. Not 8 p.m.
Look.
9 p.m.
Okay. Greg, you want to put that up there? Greg, you'll put that up there?
It says it in the chat over here. It says 9 p.m., not 10 p.m. on CNN Sunday. There was a different episode at 10 p.m. There was some confusion.
Thank you, Howard, for the correction.
Awesome.
So he says to set your DVR for both times for everybody that's interested.
When Greg chimes in like this, I don't know if everyone hear him? I feel like we're on Howard Stern show. The producer like chimes in from the box. It's kind of funny. Let's conclude our service since we were talking a lot about peace and wholeness and the desire for shleimut, for being made whole once more, let's conclude with Osei Shalom. You can find it at the bottom of Kaddish on page 294. Osei Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Osei Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Amen. Amen. Osei Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Ve'al Kol Yisrael Amen.
Amen, amen. Dana, Kiddush, which is on page 5 for everyone. Maybe Tori is there for Motzi, or you'll follow up with Motzi.
I might have to follow up with Motzi if she doesn't come downstairs.
It's okay. Awesome. Thank you.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו והצוונו, בשבת קדשה באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה מקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen, amen. L'chaim. Beautiful, Dana. Beautiful, beautiful. We close with Motzi. Beautiful.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ.
Amen. Shabbat, thank you. Shabbat shalom all. We hope to see you very soon. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chitty bitty bitty bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
L'chaim.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat.
Do-do-do, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.